Hello guys, welcome back. Just wipe the video from your mind. I think like three of you, so I'll just like totally delete it from your mind. I apologize if you saw there was a video and there's no video there. But put it up. I didn't feel right about it. I was going to make you a let me explain myself video on Patreon, and then Freya and Freya marched in and they were like, no, you're taking that video down and you're doing something better. So I got my little ears box back. And they lectured me on not confusing circumstance with a message from the gods and not confusing algorithms with a message from the gods. So, it was not the gods or the universe or anyone else giving me bigger comedians and saying, this is a warning. Because none of the gods were saying that. In fact, they were saying positive things like, if you're eating 2 double cheeseburgers, at least it's not 4. At least it's not 2 double cheeseburgers and 4 orders of fries and 5 Cokes, and even if it was that, it wouldn't be double that. We all have different bodies. We all have different cravings. We all like different foods. We're all different sizes naturally. My body likes to be a certain size, and I'd already forgotten my promise to my body. I think, and poor Loki feels guiltily now because Loki likes romance novels. You know, those visual ones. And I have yet to see one where a fat character isn't a joke. They're all beyond this world, physically beautiful people. And I think that does wear on you for after a while, because we do live in a culture where this unattainable, airbrushed model is shown. And it's not just on bigger people. Maybe you feel too tall or too short or too old or too young or too skinny, or, you know, whatever you feel, you can be made to feel worthless if you don't fit this really artificial age group. Hell, according to my analytics, you're all 18-year-old boys from America, so I was looking at my analytics for the channel. I'm like, God damn it, this must be the analytics for the other channel, because I know sure as hell ain't the analytics for this channel. And why the hell would 18-year-old boys want to stare at an old lady anyways? What the actual hell? So I actually, we had a good laugh about that. But in all seriousness though, Freya and Freyr have been coming in, and we've been going through a pattern where they come in. They're super intense, but they don't stay long enough to get a thank you or to get an offering or to consume their whole offering. And I thought it was a wolf or a fox chasing them out. I'm like, well, Loki and Odin are very territorial, and sometimes they won't let 2 people they love be in contact. It's happened. There will be times where Loki steps in front of me, he's like, I'm not talking to Hel or Sigyn right now. And I'm like, okay. Fine. And I will tell him, I say, even you don't even have to say anything. I'll be thinking about talking to Sigyn. I'll feel this malevolence come out of nowhere, and I'll think, well, not today, my friend. I say, if I'm not talking to Sigyn or Hel or the kids or something, some reason there's this god that I think won't approve. And then he goes, oh, okay. And then he's fine, but he's Loki. But we're getting off subject. Our gods aren't going to body shame us. And unfortunately, we live in a world where the people who are physically fit and they're just into fitness and they've been blessed that they're not sick a day in their life, and they could write down a whole pizza and they'd be fine. You know what I mean? Those people don't know what it's like to be able to walk past a store and gain 30 pounds because they had donuts on display. You didn't eat those donuts, you didn't touch those donuts, but damn it if you didn't gain weight. And it can be incredibly stressful, and I can only speak to that struggle. Well, I can actually speak to 2 struggles. When I was a child, I was straight up and down. I mean, I could not put on weight for anything. In fact, that's why my parents started feeding me junk food. No, true story. I was straight up and down. You couldn't put weight on me. People were feeding me back then. It was the 80s, don't judge. People were feeding me candy and fast food and burgers and fries and fat and putting extra butter on my food, and nothing was working. I couldn't gain weight. I couldn't put a fucking ounce on. And then I hit high school. I started to develop a bit of a belly, but I was still like skinny everywhere else. So you can imagine all the lovely comments I would get, because I would have this like pot belly in high school, but everything else was skinny, except for my boobs. And, you know, it got to the point where around college, that's when the rest of the body was like, okay, we're done being thin. And the rest of the body joined in. And then after the rest of the body joined in, it wants to join in for keeps. It doesn't want to be a thin body. I can eat a very unhealthy, low-calorie diet. And last day or so, I've been extremely, extremely tired. Now, guys, I haven't been trying to hurt myself. I've just been trying to eat sensibly and make sure food lasts. And I haven't been eating like just one bowl of ramen a day and salting it with my tears. I've been eating, boiled eggs, cottage cheese, variety of foods, nuts, raisins, stuff like that. So it's not like I'm not eating food, but I wasn't taking enough calories in. My body and I have kind of this agreement. I don't even count my calories, but if it's around 2,000 to 4,000 calories, my body is amped. My body wants to go on a 12-mile walk. If I start eating to lose weight, my body's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not getting out of bed for 45 minutes. How you like that, bitch? So my body has trained me. And I've told doctors for decades, I've said, I know what my body's happy with and healthy with. Yes, I will be a bigger person all my life. But if I want to go on a fucking walk sometime between now and the day I die, I have to make sure I'm taking in enough calories and trying to. I'm never going to be perfect in nutrition. I sucked as a vegan. I was like the worst vegan on the planet. You can be a French fry, peanut butter, and jelly deep fried vegetable vegan, and that's what ended up being like a lot of pizza. And you can still drink pop and everything. Just going vegan is not going to make you be on a super nutritious diet, but that's neither here nor there. Our gods love us no matter what size we are. Whether we're fat, or we're thin, we're tall, or we're short, we're black, yellow, pink, blue, orange. Well, there are a couple orange people that might not be on the list, but you know what I mean. Our gods love us. Being in with the gods we're with, especially if you get into like Brosa, there's this emphasis on having an impossible body standard. All the guys have to look like they lift weights, and all the girls have to look like models, and when the fact that 99.9% of the population doesn't match that, there's problems. If you really want to do something, if you really want to become a bodybuilder, and I did that for a while too, do it because you want to. Don't do it because you think it has something to do with heathenry. It has jack over shit to do with heathenry. There's nowhere in the Heaven Mall that he tells you to do farmer lifts or something like this, or tells you to do skull crushers or something. That's not in the Heaven Mall. It's not in anything handed down from Freya of how to be beach and bikini ready. People were concerned about surviving back then. For gods want us to be happy. Now, this also means we treat ourselves well, whatever we think that means. We don't intentionally abuse anything. Exercise can be abused, food can be abused, everything else. Don't abuse it, but don't deny yourself to the point where you hurt yourself either. Learn to find the balance that works for you. And, they're having me, Freya and Freyr, helping me work on the board and work on self-acceptance. Not only work on self-acceptance for myself, but for a lot of other people too, because the heathen community can be really, really shitty. And not just heathens, witches and pagans in general can be really shitty too. Especially if you're a god spouse. One of the first things you'll get is, well, no wonder you're a god spouse. Your imaginary boyfriend must be with you, because look at you. You know what? Fuck you. So, I hear, well, now, back here. If you're really in touch with your gods, whether you hear words or you just get feelings or whatever, you're going to get acceptance no matter what you look like. If you want to gradually work towards a goal, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't do it because you think the gods aren't going to love you just the way you are. So I'm going to get off my soapbox, but Freya and Freyr were like, that video wasn't acceptable. We don't want you putting out the message out there that, there's something wrong with, whatever size you are, because, as soon as I had put that video up, I, stumbled across. I wasn't even looking for like all these plus size athletes and everything, and Bray's like, that video was some bullshit. You correct this. So disregard the other video if you saw it. Sometimes I'm not the best with words. If Odin blessed me, you guys on Patreon know he didn't bless me with the ability to write poetry, and he sure didn't bless me with words. So I will see you guys later. Bye bye.